State Department of Public Safety graduation ceremony for the Basic Corrections Training Class 1504, also known as BCT 1504. My name is Isaac Sigario. I'm the Training and Staff Development Administrator for the department. Before we proceed with the program, I would like to acknowledge our special guests. From the State Department of Public Safety, the Honorable Mr. Nolan Espinda, Director. Ms. Kathy Ross, Deputy Director for Administration. Warden Francis Sequeira, Alava Correctional Facility. Deputy Warden Lau Kaumata, Oahu Community Corrections. We would also like to acknowledge our division and branch administrators, staff officers, deputy wardens, chiefs of security, watch commanders, and all other uniformed and non-uniformed instructors and staff. And most especially, we acknowledge the families, friends, and associates who have come here to join us in the celebration of this special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women in uniform that you are about to meet have been through 9 weeks or 45 days, equivalent to 360 hours of comprehensive training. Some of the subjects covered during this rigorous training include standards of conduct, professionalism and ethics, report writing, mental health and medical issues, transportation, maintaining security, crisis intervention, security threats and gangs, firearms, self-defense tactics, unlawful harassment, and definitely physical exercise. This comprehensive training program has prepared them to embark on their new careers as professional adult corrections officers in the State Department of Public Safety. They came together as individuals, worked as a team, and today we are here to recognize and celebrate their accomplishments. And now I ask Sergeant in Charge Avery Gomes to commence with the formal presentation of BCT Class 1504.
PSD mission statement.
PSD mission statement to uphold justice and public safety by providing correctional and law enforcement services to Hawaii's communities with professionalism, integrity, and fairness.
Will you please rise for the playing of the national and state anthem sung by BCT Class 15-04.
Uplift, present, up.
Twilight keaini makualani e kamehameha e na kawa e pale me kai e makualani e kamehameha e na kawa e pale me kai e.
Right. Hey. Take your seat.
Thank you, and please be seated. Each class of graduates chooses their representative to reflect on what their training has meant to them and upon their future as adult correctional officers. The representative for BCT Class 1504 is Officer Shane Kaninau. Officer Kaninau.
Good morning, Director, Deputy Directors, Administrators, Training Officers, Officers, Training Staff, Faculty and Staff, distinguished guests, friends and family, and classmates of the Basic Correctional Training Class, BCT 1504. Hello. Before I give my speech, I would like to present a few ladies to some guests here today. First, Director Nolan Smith. Training officers, Lieutenant Don Clemente. Sergeant in Charge, Sergeant Avery Gomes. Assistant Sergeant in Charge, Puanani Cummings, Sergeant Puanani Cummings. And Training Sergeant, Sergeant Rebecca Aiken. Good morning, everyone. I apologize, I might be a little nervous this morning, but today's a big day. My name is Shane Kaninau, and I'm here before you today with the great privilege of being the class speaker this morning. Now, I'm going to be very honest. I only volunteered for this because my original plan was to talk about how great I was during BCP. Basically, how I had amazing verbal commands that Jedi Master Yoda himself couldn't resist, or how my physical prowess was far superior than everyone else during PVCP self-defense, how I eat pepper spray for lunch, or how I can shoot 40 rounds into one hole during gun qualifications. But today is a joyous day, and I figure it can't be all about me. Today is a joyous day and celebration for all of us, the 29 adult correctional officer recruits, sitting before you today on graduation. I'm going to try to keep this as short and sweet as I can while articulating the amazing journey 1504 has made in 9 weeks through our many struggles and successes along the way. As you've heard already, our motto is hard work. And hard work has been the class motto since day one. Hard work is definitely what brought each of us here today. For most, if not all, it has been over a year-long process from applying for the position, doing pre-employment physicals, interviews, written tests, background checks, paperwork, orientations, etc. Finally came the day where we got the phone call from our sergeant in charge, Sergeant Avery Gomes. I have to be honest, and I know I'm not the only one here who thought, when hearing Sergeant Gomes' deep, commanding, monotone voice, I envisioned a very large Portuguese guy, maybe about 6'1", 250, pure muscle, with a thick Tom Selleck mustache. Instead, on day one at TSD, we got the 5'11", 160-pound wiry man standing before you today. Who in here remembers their first day of school, whether it be elementary, high school, or college? That is pretty much how 1504 began. Sitting in class nervous, not talking to one another in class or on breaks. Very quiet. Now we have grown into a family of 28 brothers and 1 sister that can't seem to keep quiet around each other. Hard work got us through the many stressful late nights studying for exams, practical tests, and all the many physical challenges along the way. From day 1 to the final weeks of class, we all experienced Sergeant Gomes' favorite form of hard work through these 4 words: forward-leaning rest position. It was through our many physical challenges, like the many push-up reminders, shooting at the gun range, beating up on each other during PPCT, and most painfully getting sprayed in the face with OC spray, also known as pepper spray, that really brought us together as a class. If one person struggled or fell behind, there were 28 others behind them, encouraging and pushing for that person to succeed. These are the things that build us together as a team, and more importantly, as a family, that I know I will never forget. This is truly an experience that I know will be remembered well into our careers and our lives. Before I give my final message, I apologize for turning away my attention to you. My last message will be directed to my fellow classmates, BCT 1504. During my time playing football in college at Linfield, there was a saying that was always said to us, and it was painted on our locker room wall. It said, as we go our separate ways into our careers today, I pray that we always remember to do the right thing, remember where we came from and where we started, and most importantly, to be smart, be safe, and be strong, so we can return to our families at the end of the day. I love you all.
Thank you, Officer Kaninao. Our keynote speaker is the Honorable Nolan Espinda, Director for the State Department of Public Safety. However, before I invite Director Espinda to speak, may I take this honor to share with you a glimpse of his professional background. Director Nolan Espinda has worked his entire 32-year career in the corrections field, rising from recreation specialist at the Hawaii Youth Correctional Facility in 1983 to supervisory positions in the Department of Public Safety from 1988 to the present. Passionate about working in corrections, he has served as warden at Waiaba Correctional Facility since 2009. Director Espinda's accomplishments as warden included being named Public Safety Department Manager of the Year in 1994 and obtaining the dismissal of the 1985 Federal Consent Decree versus Ariyoshi in 1999. He also served as warden of the Oahu Community Correctional Center and lastly the Alala Correctional Facility. He prides himself on being able to instill order, professionalism, and fairness in the prison system, and looks forward to creating a Department of Public Safety that is more streamlined, consistent, and accountable. Director Espinda is a 1975 graduate of Iolani School and holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science from California State University. Ladies and gentlemen, our Director, the Honorable Nolan Espinda.
Good morning. Good morning. Aloha to everyone. Aloha to everyone. Aloha. Thank you very much. Be proud of it. Be very proud. For someone who was nervous, you did a wonderful job, very touching, and heartfelt, I can tell. I've promised my boss, the Governor of Hawaii, and all of my supervisors that at every public opportunity, I would express what I feel is the biggest challenge facing the Department of Public Safety. Essentially, it is that the structures and conditions in each one of our jails, our community correctional centers throughout the state, are antiquated, problematic, difficult to run, and understaffed. Our biggest issue facing these corrections has to do with bettering conditions in each one of our community correctional centers. For those of you who don't know, the difference is between a prison and a jail. The jail system, or what we call the community correctional centers, where people await trial or serve sentences of less than 1 year. So if it says Oahu Community Correctional Center, Maui Community Correctional Center, Big Island Community Correctional Center, those are our jails. Each one of those jails is old in structure, poorly designed, difficult to run and manage, and extremely overcrowded. Our biggest target and goal is to address those conditions throughout the state of Hawaii. Corrections is tough work, very tough work. You see the very worst of humankind. You get to know their behaviors, whether you like it or not. You get to see the greatest details of the crimes they committed. And oftentimes within the work environment you're at, you're going to see the worst that humanity can give to each other. It's a difficult job. It's not something you can turn off after 8 hours. You signed up for it. It's a difficult and tough job. Your family did not sign up for it. So if I have a single message to give to you today, understand that your job is going to impact the way you see the world. It's going to impact the way you raise your children. It's going to impact the way you interact with each and every one of your family members. How you see your son, his behavior as he grows up, the fears of what you see at work are going to impact the way you treat your son. How you see your daughter, how you see your wife. Those things are all going to be impacted by what you see at work. When you go to the mall, or when you go to a restaurant, as time goes on, you're going to find yourself sitting with your back to the wall, asking your family to be prepared in the event somebody calls out your name. There's going to always be an alert on, friend or enemy. This impacts your life. Understand that? But please don't drag it onto your family. Take the time every single day after work to find a healthy way to decompress. A healthy way. Whether it's a exercise program, meditation, prayer. Take the time every single day before you go home to decompress. Don't carry the baggage home with you. There's an old saying that says 50% of life is just showing up. Well, let me tell you what. 100% of work is showing up. It may sound like something we should understand on a regular basis, but the reality is we have difficulty sometimes coming to work because of the difficult conditions you face there. You're going to find as time goes on, oftentimes it's an arduous decision to make every single morning when you wake up or every single night before you go to bed. But please, you need to come to work every single day as long as you're healthy and able, because your people and comrades at work are relying on you to be there alongside them. The state does not have an unlimited budget. We cannot simply replace you and stay home. We can give you every opportunity to schedule healthy vacation time, and if you're sick, we want you to get well. But it's very, very important and very high profile in our department. So please show up for work. I can't tell you how many individuals over the course of my career have not heeded that instruction. Time came later in their life and their career when the injury befell them, sickness, when they needed the time that they should have been earning by coming to work and banking needs so that your family will always have a paycheck and health coverage. By not needing that information, a lot of these people ended up suffering, and that bad behavior or poor behavior, unfortunately carried on to their family. Think about it every single day. Sometimes it's just a cliche when we say, I got your back. You can't have anybody's back if you're not at work. If you're governed by a standard of conduct and you went through training on that, there is a specific reason for that. Statistical fact is actually true. There's more discipline issued to correctional employees than to any other line of employees throughout the state. Let me repeat that. More discipline, more suspensions, more letters of reprimand, more corrective actions taken against correctional workers than any other level of employees across the state. There is a specific reason for that. You deal on a day-to-day basis with human beings. You need to be disciplined in that behavior. There's going to be times when holding back your emotions, your feelings, are going to be difficult. But you're trained to do it, and you need to do it. You're trained on planned use of force. You're trained on reactive use of force. You're trained on the use of force through verbal skills. Take the time at every incident to measure what needs to be done. And like I told you the first couple of days of class, do the right thing. There's an 80-20 rule. 20% of the people cause 100% of the problem. 80% of the people come to work every single day trying to do a good job, have pride in their profession, and truly do honor to the profession. I ask that you be part of the 80% that need you 20%. Last and foremostly, this is a repeat from what I told you the first week we were here. When the bell rings, come running. When the bell rings, come running. Officers who work there annually see 2 or 3 classes graduate a year, and they wait for that first bell. And they want to see you as the newest, precious, and most in shape group in the institution be the first person to be door. Every time the bell rings, you got to come running because somebody's life is in danger and they need your call. One day, that somebody might be you. So whether you're eating, whether you're in the bathroom, whether you're doing something else, when your fellow officers ring the bell, answer the call. Congratulations to each and every one of you. I know you're going to do the state of Hawaii proud, your family's proud. You've already done me proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Espina. And now comes the moment you all have been waiting for, the presentation of the graduation certificates, followed by the presentation of special awards. To do the honors, I would like to invite the Honorable Director Nolan Espinda to assist, and Warden Francis Sequeira of Halawa Correctional Facility. We will be presenting the certificates for those assigned to the Halawa Correctional Facility. Landon Dela Cruz. Eli Lam. Timothy Kaho'oili Hala Jr. Tyson Leslie. Shane Kaninau. Sinuta. Christopher Vargas. Michael Berkey. Joshua Tukey. Agasihi Sabay Nayak. Thank you, Warden Sakara, who would like to invite next, following the Alabama Correctional Officers, we'd like to invite the Deputy Warden, Lyle Kawamata. Thank you, Warden Sakara. Alamar Notisi. John Escobilio Jr. Marco Valenzuela Tapia. Fred Padrones. Andrew Durapan. Tracy Coriel Jr. Ashley Lloyd. James DePrima. Daniel Gu. Jonathan Dean. Levi Kakao. Alexis Oredal. Sean Dalla Calzada. Thank you, Director Spinda and Deputy Director. We will now proceed with the presentation of special awards. As with each class of adult corrections officers recruits, there are officers who show outstanding ability, skill, and dedication in various portions of their training. Their hard work is reflected in our special awards of recognition and accomplishment. These awards are academic, Top Gun, physical fitness, inspirational, and distinguished recruit. Presenting the Special Student Awards are Deputy Director for Administration, Ms. Kathy Ross, and ACT 1504 Sergeant in Charge, Avery Williams. The Academic Award. The recipient of the Academic Award is selected by an accumulative set of written exam scores based on core, supplemental, and performance learning objectives. With an overall grade average of 100%, this officer has exceeded the academic standards and expectations of the class. This award goes to Officer Elliot Olinger, Alama Correctional Facility. The Top Gun Award. The recipient of the Top Gun Award is selected by the officer's ability to demonstrate superior firearms application skills. This is based on accumulated points the officer scored while firing the department's pre-service weapons. These weapons are the .38 caliber revolver, AR-15 semi-automatic rifle, and 12-gauge shotgun, with a cumulative score of 612.5 points. This award goes to Officer Logoesese Levy,
That's right.
The recipient of the Physical Fitness Award is selected by having the best cumulative time in the benchmark course and the 1.5 mile run that each recruit must negotiate in a prescribed time. This officer has exceeded the minimum requirements by far and truly deserved this award with a cumulative score of 12 minutes and 38 seconds. This award goes to Officer Tyson Leslie Alama Correctional. Distinct Inspirational Recruit Award. The recipient of the Inspirational Recruit Award is selected by the ACO recruits. The recipient of this award demonstrated to their peers the ability to motivate and inspire throughout the basic correctional training. This award goes to Officer Logoesese Levy. Distinguished Recruit Award. The recipient of the Distinguished Recruit Award is selected by the Corrections Training Staff. This award is the most prestigious of the basic corrections training program and is given to the officer who exemplified professionalism and illustrated excellence in every phase of correctional training. Receiving this award is a great honor and should be looked upon as a symbol of accomplishment. This perpetual coal plaque, located on my right, is a symbol of this accomplishment. The name of the recipient of this award will be placed on this plaque alongside those from previous classes who have also achieved this great accomplishment. This award goes to Officer Shane Kaninao. Director Ross and Sergeant Gomes. Thank you very much for assisting. At this time, Director Nolan Espinda will administer the oath of office. Thank you.
Class. Attention. Corrections mission statement.
Corrections mission statement to provide public protection by assigning persons detained by and committed to the custody of the department to secure safe and humane environment in compliance with judicial and statutory requirements.
Prepare to receive the oath. Move.
Repeat after me. I do affirm the responsibilities and authority
I do affirm the responsibilities and authorities
vested in me as a correctional worker
vested in me as a correctional worker
to uphold the Constitution
to uphold the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the state of Hawaii,
and the state of Hawaii,
to abide by all laws and to discharge my duties
to abide by all laws and discharge my duties
in a professional manner
in a professional manner
without fear, favor, or prejudice.
without fear, favor, or prejudice.
Arms downward. Move. Take your seat.
Thank you, Director Espinda. Sergeant in charge, Avery Gomes, will now say a few final words to Class 1504. Sergeant Gomes.
The gentleman, I'm that scrawny photograph he was talking about. Usually I don't say speeches off written note here, but this time I was fortunate enough to be with these individuals as their sergeant in charge, and I remember the date. I wrote down Wednesday, March 4th, 2015. After facing some of our dynamic aspects of being involved in such a raw and fresh phase of these individuals' careers, I began to think in depth on the following three values expressed in our department's mission statement. So I'd like to first start with integrity, incorruptibility, firm adherence to code, soundness, an unimpaired condition, completeness, a state of being undivided, and in other terms, character, decency, goodness, righteousness, rightness, uprightness, etc. The next one is fairness, free from self-interest or interest, prejudice or favoritism, conforming with the established rules. In other terms, just, impartial, unbiased, objective, and dispassionate. And finally, professionalism, skill, good judgment, and polite behavior that is expected from a person who is trained to do a job well. The conduct or qualities that characterize a profession. As you can see, there are a lot to explain in order to define these three words, which are oftentimes used in such a meaningless way, without love. Love is defined in many ways also. However, there is one definition linked to our profession, and that is unselfish, loyal,
and benevolent concern for the good of another. In other terms, appreciate, cherish, treasure, value. So as you can see, with love, we have none of the core values that our department has put forth in our mission. I ask all of you to love all, keep your integrity, although integrity is frowned upon in certain circumstances. Keep your fairness, even if unfairness is in your presence. And keep your professionalism, even when faced with unprofessional individuals. And if you fail, get yourself back up, get back on track, and move forward. And I think it was wonderful that the director brought up some of the values of family life also, yeah? And that it will affect you. And, without trying to get personal, it does. I've been through divorce, been through all the headaches of trying to find yourself before it's too late, yeah? So you guys gotta use the people that's already been through it. Listen, soak it up like a sponge, just like I told you guys on evaluations, right? Soak up the information, keep the good, squeeze out the bad. And hopefully, one of you will be in that position, maybe my leader, yeah? And I'll be more than happy to have that happen. So with that, guys, it's been a pleasure being your sergeant in charge, and I feel the love from this class. This class was amazing. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Thank you, Sergeant Gomes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming and showing your support to our new adult corrections officers. Before we officially close the graduation ceremony and proceed with our luncheon, I would like to invite Officer Levi Kakao to offer the benediction. After the benediction, and before the final dismissal, we would like to invite family members and friends who have cameras, cell phones, to come up forward to the stage and take pictures, photographs of the class. We'll start with the benediction first. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you guys please take off your hats and bow your heads, please? Lord Jesus, thank you for this wonderful day. I thank you for waking us up this morning. I thank you for bringing everyone, all our loved ones here safely. And just thank you for watching over us this past 9 weeks, and to continue to watch over us as we start our new journey as correctional officers. Bless the food, may nursing strengthen our bodies and bones. Bless the hand that prepared it. Keep each and every one of us as we leave here today. And I give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
That. Okay. Prepare for picture taking.